How the turns table.
I want to show you guys a clip that I just took a recording of from YouTube. I'll show that to you in a second. Just want to preface it. So, for those of you who haven't played Gran Turismo ever, there's always been kind of a meme about the AI in the game, how it's like not that good, and it's really, they get out of your way when you drive by, so it's like they're really no challenge. And so I think Gran Turismo Polyphony, the people who make the game, were like, we got to make this better. Like, we have to put some resources into making this better. And so over the past couple of years, they've been working on something called Gran Turismo Sophy, Sophy, and it's essentially AI. That it's like machine learning AI to better these racers as like, driving the course better, actually like racing you and not just getting out of the way. And dude, the AI has gotten so good that the best players in the world can't keep up. And it's only been machine learning for like maybe a year. And it's incredible. The reason that I want to talk about it is just the way that they drive is so bizarre. Because if you don't know, in professional racing, depending on where you drive on the track, going around corners or whatever it is, like you have to stay within the track limits. And if you don't, you get a penalty, which a penalty is an increment of time where you have to go 50 miles an hour. Meaning, if you knock somebody off the track, you could get like a 5-second penalty, which means you have to essentially almost stand still for 5 seconds, which is going to lose you so much time and likely send you back many positions, right? So if you cut corners or you hit a barrier or you run into the wall or whatever it is, you get a penalty. So the idea is that like when somebody's driving around you, you don't just hit them because you're going to have to slow down if that's the case. So you have to drive with like some chivalry, if you will. Like you have to like drive like not an asshole. You have to, if somebody goes in your inside, you can't just knock them. You have to let them go and fight your way back past, and vice versa. And so what the AI has figured out is not only the tactics of humans where you fake people out, you start like you're going this way and you go the other way, but they've figured out the pixel perfect limits of the tracks.
Oh my god!
To get the most speed into a corner. And dude, there's this one clip. I'll put it on screen. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Where this is from Super GT. I've talked about him a bunch before. Where they're using the pit entry. The pit entry is when you go in and you get like you change your tires to make the corner faster, which you don't get a penalty for going into the pits. So they're just being super smart about like, this is the edge of where I can drive, and it's faster than driving straight. Let me go full screen here. I'm going to turn it down just to be safe. It's only like a 20-second clip.
Shadow Realm. And now for the best example of track limit abuse.
Sophy is...
Or exploitation,
entry.
if you like. Look at that. Pit entry use into the 4 chicanes. Absolutely sensible.
So you see, that's the pit entry right there.
Yeah.
If you like.
They go...
So
most
they can
drivers,
curve into the...
Most drivers go here and then turn in. They go all the way around the pit entry and cut across.
Look at that. Pit entry use into the 4 chicanes.
Forza would never.
Sensational. You don't get a penalty for using the grass or going in the pit entry, so...
Microsoft would never...
So the thing is like the way that they drive is so bizarre because they're pushing because they can do 1,000 laps in the time that it would take us to do however many, 10 or 20, you know what I mean? And so what they'll do is like on every turn, most good drivers will use as much of the track as they can. I think the rule is, and I could be wrong, correct me in the comments, you can have 2 wheels on the road and 2 on the grass or 2 on the tarmac. But if you have 3 or 4 wheels, you get a penalty. And so what they do is like they'll find that perfect limit where they're a pixel away from being in a penalty to get the track width and turning in. And what they've learned is like to use the grass, which is more slippery, to whip the car into the turn. Dude, it's like it's obviously things that humans could never do. Like we could get close, but like
It's a tool assisted speed
it's essentially a tool assisted speed run. And so it races against essentially like the 3 or 4 best players in the entire world. The closest anyone got to their lap time was like within 0.2 of a second, but everyone else was like 1.5 seconds, 1.8 seconds. And these are like the best players in the world who are like crazy fast.
So are people mad about it?
Well, no, because they're like, Polyphony was like, we're not going to put this in the game
Oh, okay.
straight out. Like, you're not going to like not win races. I think what they're going to do is say, here's a setting of how like easy, medium,
Yeah.
pro. And then if you really want to push the limits, you can use this AI. But I think, the caveat is the AI uses probably a ton of like server power. So they're not just going to like throw Sophy into the game. But it just goes to show you how I love when computers like machine learning AI finds a completely new way
But what's funny
to do
dude,
something.
It's all that is just giving a machine the ability to learn how to speed run. Like it's a task. They built a task, and that's all they did. That didn't know how to beat the game fast.
Yes,
But I'm pretty sure
they're
every
also
task
in
starts
races.
by figuring it out. Like, and that's what's crazy is they literally put a task. You're racing against a fucking task.
That's what I said.
Yes, but
When did you just say that just now?
He
I said it
he
was a
said
tool
it.
assisted speed run.
Yeah.
Oh.
The difference
Okay,
is
well, sorry.
No, you explained it though. I just was joking, but you're right. That
mean,
is what they're doing.
I think I might have heard you say that, and we'll go
Dude,
in one ear out the other. But
you're good, man. I just
no, you're right.
because
Though.
I was like thinking about it, I was like, this fucking is, I don't understand why they thought that was a good idea.
Well-
That's insane to me. And so was it offline to like remove
Well,
this
that's-
from the game? Because I don't fucking understand that part.
Well, talk about that in a second. I just want to say I don't have heard nothing about this game. I heard it came out and something about servers, but
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. But
Yeah, we'll get
when you first started talking about this, I thought you were saying, well, everyone was shitting on their crappy AI, so they were like, okay, now our AI is really good. I thought you were saying like that's what they did to program how the AI should just work in the game by default.
No, yeah, I wish.
And I'm like, damn, dude, that was kind of cold for them to go
I know,
and be
they're
like,
just
you
like,
can't beat us now.
you're never gonna win. No,
Which-
yeah, this was a tournament series.
Yeah, which, like you said, it is really cool to see them find like new ways, things like that, which is not something that people even do like professionally, right? Because that's a weird maneuver to do. Just as the example
You
of going
could
into the
do
pit.
it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's
I mean,
not like
sure,
a standard
but I'm
practice.
sure that technology could be used for figuring out the fastest way to beat an in real life course,
Yeah,
right?
for
Like,
sure.
Yeah.
Like here's the course, and here we mapped it out 1-to-1, and you would have to make a turn at this exact fucking speed and angle to make it. I
Yeah,
think that
assuming-
could be useful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
assuming the
It definitely could.
physics are like the same, right?
The
Yeah.
only thing is, you guys keep saying tasks, and I think that is the case for the time trials, which is just yourself. The difference between this and the clip that I showed you was in a full race, was 3 AI versus 3 real drivers. Sorry. And so they have to make decisions on the fly when somebody's on their inside or
Yeah,
Right.
no,
what I'm
no.
saying
And
is
so-
they took the task to the next level, right? They took a task and said, "You don't know how to beat this fucking level. Figure it out." Right? A
mean,
lot of task bots do that though. Like I've seen plenty of people use AI to try and beat Mario through tasks.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess we should just say that we're using the task as like the easy example,
Yeah.
like comparison, but machine learning is
yeah.
its own thing, right? We're just talking about video games, and like you said, yeah, it makes sense if you're just looking at a time trial and having them go around as fast as possible. But it is more than that. We're dumbing it down, basically.
Yeah.
When you have people in the middle of it, I mean, they might be running like the simulations on the server to be like, well, if I go here or whatever. That's like the next step to it, where it's not the same level every time. They don't run 1,000 and say, if I take the turn like this, I'll get it perfectly, because now there's variables of other players and things that are throwing them off.
Yeah. No, I mean it's really interesting. The cool thing, and this is what that we can end on for this, but they when they first launched Sophy, and they had it in like a working state, I think it was July or June of 21. They put it up against the best racers in the world. The racers beat them every time. October of the same year, so what, 3 or 4 months later, Sophy whipped the fucking real players in 3 or 4 months of just like,
I mean,
obviously, like computers,
yeah,
they're on
computers
a different
be
level.
learning fast. It's not like
but
some
it's-
guy just decided to get good at a game in a couple months.
It's just
but-
crazy because it wasn't that much time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell, like, the best players in the world, like, most of them are Japanese for the Gran Turismo sport. And they're, like, super frustrated because they're like, I'm the best in the world and I'm getting fucking rocked.
But it's this. I mean, I think it's the same as like really good chess programs that, I mean, they just know every combination of how.
Yeah, it's the Doctor Strange
Yeah.
endgame chess. You know, it's like I can see every combination.
I mean, it's chess is realistically there's only so many ways to play it, right? I mean, it's a board. Somebody goes here, you go here. Like, where are things gonna fall out, right? So those programs are really fucking good because they just know how it works. I mean,
And with what you said, I think that's why it's so interesting, especially in a real scenario race, because with chess, like you said, there's only so many moves you can make. In racing, with all those different axes of turning, slowing down, speeding up,
tire pressure,
wind pressure, weather, like there's so many different parameters that they can use to drive faster or slower. It's unbelievable. So I was just blown away by that.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Super good video. I'll try to link it in the description.